You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Ferris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris. Yay! How you doing, Dan?
Oh, boy, that was about the most insincere thing I've ever heard in my life. We're all worse
He just threw
people
something
forever.
at me across the studio. I'm ducking.
Holy cow. It is, and I don't know why this should be just a designated day, but apparently I'll draw attention to it because it's a big deal. It's National Hire a Vet Day.
Oh, yeah. It should be every day. Yeah.
Hire a vet every single day.
Exactly.
Whatever, because it's kind of a big deal. Who's blowing up birthday candles today? Joey Tribbiani. Matt LeBlanc from Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, from Friends, yeah.
Joey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? Matt is 55. He seems like a decent chap, doesn't
Yeah.
He does. He seems like a nice guy.
I really wish that he would have had more opportunities after Friends, because you haven't seen him in much stuff after that.
he? No, he had another sitcom that ran for a while.
It was
I don't
called
remember the name of
Joey.
it. Oh, well, there you go.
It was about... And they're like, he's no one-trick pony. He's also a two-trick pony, but they're both Joey.
John, maybe you should be his agent. I
could.
know you're super helpful with entertainers.
I could see if I could get him on the show.
That should be great. Maybe get him a gig at Bosses and Tea.
There you go. I'll do what I can. Thanks, Dan.
Estelle Getty.
Jeez.
Sophia from Golden
Yes,
Girls.
I loved Sophia.
Yeah, she's quite the something. It's born this day. He was passed away, in 2008. And you know him, you love him. And this is for my buddy Charlie. I'm talking about your dad, Heidi.
Okay.
Charlie is a big Chicago Bears fan.
Yes, he
yeah.
is.
Becky and I do a friendly wager whenever the Vikings meet up with the Bears every year. But he was number 34, 13 years with the Bears, 9-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first-team All-Pro, Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion, 1985, Hall of Fame inductee, 1993, ladies and gentlemen. Sweetness, Walter Payton.
Nice.
Yeah, I've heard of that name before. He was a football player.
Was one of the best
One of the
ever
greatest.
to
Yeah.
play the game. Yeah, unfortunately, I lost him. He was only 45 when he passed.
Oh, wow.
Yikes.
Rare liver disease they could not get under control. So there you go. Happy birthday to those folks. Little history. Oh, this is just gangbusters. This is so much fun.
All right.
It was 1978, and man, it's just weird. The world of science just kind of trips me out. It just kind of does, especially when it gets into human reproduction. This is 1978. Britain welcomes Louise Joy Brown into the world. What's the big deal? Well,
Right.
Louise happened to be the first human being born after conception by in vitro fertilization.
Okay.
Lauded as the most remarkable medical breakthrough of the 20th century.
That's cool.
Often referred to, Louise is as the first test tube baby, although technically Louise was actually conceived in a Petri dish.
Nice. So not in a test tube.
Huh.
No, they just refer to it as a test tube baby. No, it was a Petri dish. So, yeah, she celebrates. She actually goes to hobby stores and finds a chemistry set. Mom, Dad!
Wow.
They have a little cake. All very touching. It's 1987, and I only bring this up, and I don't mention the world of music very much because, it's subjective, it's all out there. But I really, really loved this band and still do. 1987, Guns N' Roses' debut album, Appetite for Destruction, is released.
They've done well.
Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle,
Yeah.
Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh, that was such a great album.
One of the finest rock and roll songs ever written about heroin addiction, Mr. Brownstone, also on that that LP. And I think Axl Rose has one of the best rock and roll voices ever. Actually.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Yeah, he's good.
But that thing dropped and sold over 30 million copies so far worldwide. So, world of sports, John, because I know you're a sports freak. Was this day 1999? No one had really heard of the lad before, but holy cow, did things pick up. 1999, the 86th Tour de France. American Lance Armstrong wins his first of 7 consecutive Tour de France titles, but, of course, is later disqualified for doping, performance-enhancing drugs.
Doping himself up.
That's too bad.
Had to relinquish every title, every trophy.
And a testicle.
And a testicle.
I don't think that was because
And
of the
Sheryl
doping.
Crow dumped him. So,
Did she?
you know,
Wow.
Just
insult to injury there.
so it wasn't all a loss.
Okay, good point. Valid.
Wow.
That's valid.
Or maybe she dumped him because of the testicle thing.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Can we quit talking about testicles?
There needs to be a documentary. Now
She
I'm
is
not
a
clear on any of this.
testicle gal.
Whoa.
Can we move on? I think we're moving on.
I think it's too late, but hey, I know you know, we all know, and we can just forge ahead.
We know way too much. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
Whoa, what's going on here?
It's your Mintervention, sweetie.
My what?
I'm with Mint Mobile. Your family and friends are concerned about your expensive wireless plan.
I don't even have Mint Mobile.
And we want to fix that. Right now, you're paying too much. With Mint Mobile, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month.
Really?
Yeah. Get nationwide coverage for less. Plans start at just $15 a month.
Learn more now at Mintervention.com. Coverage not available in all areas. New activation and a 3-month plan required. Additional restrictions may apply. See terms at Mintervention.com. Time now for a bright spot of news, and we're going to continue our conversation with Brent Baker. He's a real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty in Sioux Falls. His organization is called Clients First Group, so his website, clientsfirstgroup.com. And we're going to continue the conversation right now with Brent Baker. When we're talking about the process of buying a home, how long does it take? What does this process look like? Is it a couple of weeks? Is it a couple of months? A couple of years? Hopefully not a couple of years.
Yeah, we'd all starve if it was a couple of years. And it will feel like that. And there are periods in when you're executing a contract that feel like they just go on forever. So if you're paying cash, you can probably close that in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Because we're not involving all these mortgage people in there. And if you don't have a home inspection, that all saves time. If you're financing, that's what changes things. And it really depends on the demands on the market. I mean, sometimes if it's a little slower, and there's certain periods of the year that just have lulls, you could probably close in 30 days.
Nice.
But if you're typical financing, we kind of tend to tell people 45 days.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain types of loans. I'm licensed in Minnesota as well, and rural development loan in Minnesota can take 60 days. So we just kind of tell people, plan on 45 days.
Nice.
Once you've found the house.
So let's talk about that now. You found the house. I know when we were working with you to find the house that we were buying, we found the house a dozen times.
I remember that very well.
When we finally found our house, Brent had to pick up a new hobby because he's like, I got all this time. I'm not driving with John and Heidi looking at every home that Heidi sees on the market. But now, what is the process like? So once you find a home, what's the very next step?
So you've been out shopping and you say, you know what, this is a house I can work with. This is a house I like. You see the potential in it, whatever the case may be, or it's move-in ready. You have to write an offer, and the challenge is you don't know if you're competing or not, or maybe you've been told that there are offers on the table. And I just went through this morning. We knew there would be. It was a very nice home. They don't know what your offer is. You don't know what their offer is. Yeah. And so you do have to write an offer that's compelling, yet at the same time you want to protect your interest.
Yeah.
And sometimes you feel very confident in a home. It's not very old. Yeah. Maybe you'll skip inspections. You'll just say, no, that's not important in this particular house. But in older homes, you should always have a home inspection. But you have to write this offer and lay out the terms of the offer.
Absolutely.
How many dollars are you offering? What's the amount of earnest money you're willing to put down? And understand that can show the strength of your abilities to perform. And, of course, whether or not you're doing inspections, whether or not you need an appraisal. If you're financing, well, you're going to need an appraisal. Yeah. 9 out of 10 people financing need an appraisal. It's that simple. If you're a super strong buyer, lots of money down, they may just do an in-house. But
nice.
It starts with writing the offer.
So, freshly minted homeowner, what do you do going forward? Once you've got that home, you've gone through closing, it's yours. Is there a next step in that scenario?
Taking care of what you've just acquired. Just like your car needs an oil change. You need to maintain the tires. You need to keep the pressures up. You need to wash it. You need to clean it out from time to time. There's maintenance with a car. A house has maintenance too. And it's really important. Houses are expensive. and you want to protect that investment by taking good care of it. And I probably shouldn't be talking, but the reality is every once in a while I go, yep, I need to clean the gutters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to mow the lawn. Nope, you know what? I'm seeing a little wear and tear here. We need to get that addressed. And you have to, like any investment, it takes attention, and it's going to take a little reinvestment over time.
Anybody listening who maybe they're in the situation where they're going, hey, it's time for me to sell. Maybe they want to downsize. Maybe they want to upsize because they're having more kids, and maybe the kids moved out and they're downsizing. Or if they're in a situation where they're going, we need a bigger house. Or I just want to buy my first house. How do they get a hold of you to take the next step? Because I would love for them to work with Brent. We've worked with Brent, love working with Brent. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, Brent Baker at Keller Williams Realty can be contacted at 605-310-0297, or my email is brentbaker@kw.com.
Very nice. Brent, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
And again, Brent Baker is a realtor here in Sioux Falls, and we just worked with him to sell a home and to buy a home. Recommend him very, very highly. If you'd like to get a hold of him and maybe you didn't remember everything he said, reach out to me. I'll gladly connect you. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Join us in October for The Sands, a week of music and fun that's been described as the best week ever by many of our guests. This year, we have more icons and more fun. Culture Club, The Cult, Loverboy, Belinda Carlisle, Lou Graham, Vanilla Ice, Samantha Fox, Firehouse, and many more. Plan to join us October 25th through the 30th at Planet Hollywood Beach Resort in Cancun, Mexico. This all-inclusive event will be the time of your life. Learn more now at radiotravelgroup.com.
And now stuff Dan finds interesting.
It is time for Stuff Dan Finds Interesting. Dan, what do you find interesting on this Monday?
Well, we're going to venture into the world of marijuana.
Ooh.
Gentlemen, marijuana. We're talking about pot, dope, Mary Jane,
Reefer,
chronic weed, bud, ganja, grass, herb. My favorite, devil's lettuce. Who's with me? Who's with me? Okay, it's been about a year and a half or so and some change at South Dakota. Voters overwhelmingly approved medical marijuana.
Right.
Okay, so that's like a deal. And then we know, like in Sioux Falls here, there's going to be 5 designated dispensaries. People who
When
want
do those
some kind
open?
of lottery. And that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
The very first dispensary in the state is opening this week. Where do you think it is? Where do you think? Where
I
do
don't
you
know.
This just made me laugh. It's opening in Hartford.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, of all the places.
Huh.
Yep. Hartford, South
That'll be the first legal place in the state.
First medical marijuana dispensary in the state. According to co-owner Adam Jorgensen, quote, "We're very excited to announce we've secured the first initial inventory available to state-run dispensaries. Plan is to have product delivered available to the certified public on the 27th. What is that, Wednesday?
Something like, let me look at my calendar.
Wednesday. Yes, they're having a soft opening.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
They're having a soft opening.
Huh.
Maybe balloons and hot dogs for the kids, maybe face painting. I don't know.
It's a bouncy house, but it's not for the
Spin
kids.
the wheel, win a bong!
I don't think any of that either. What happened in here this morning? Is there a gas leak or something? I don't know what's going on.
But they built the facility, seriously, and this is pretty intense. They built the building around a vault. Started out with a vault.
Oh, that's kind of
As
cool.
you can believe, I mean, this is all about security, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, started out with a vault and then built the building around the vault. According to other co-owner B.J. Olson, we have 8-inch poured concrete walls reinforced with rebar. All kinds of security going on.
Is that by code?
I don't know what the code would be.
I wonder if they were told that this needs to be done in order for you to have this type of
It's
facility.
probably just something they're doing because they don't want to get robbed because it's going to be, a lot of stuff in there.
I don't know.
And I just laugh because it's Hartford, and I did a 6-year tour of duty in Hartford, actually.
Yeah.
Lived out there, had a business there. In fact, I owned a bar in Hartford, and I know a lot of the locals, and I think, this isn't a judgment thing. It's just an observation. Hartford really doesn't need anything more to alter their minds.
Thank you, Dan.
You know who I'm talking to. Right? This will be interesting to see how this goes. I was just a little surprised. I'm going, Hartford, really? Okay, cool. Well, there you go. Yeah. Again,
all right.
Soft opening.
Soft opening.
Okay.
Soft opening. And again, it's medical marijuana, so this is not just the general public. You've got to be, paper certified doctors, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So they're
Okay.
through the hoops.
Well, very cool. Good to know. Thank you, Dan.
Hey, absolutely. Gosh, this show's been one for the books, hasn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's probably one that.
It has.
This will be the one that gets us taken off the air right here.
I'm going to toddle on down the hall and rethink my life.
It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
What can I say that I haven't already said about BetterCreditCards.com? It's a website. You go there to get a better credit card. Okay, that's really probably all I need to say for most of you, but I still have time left, so how about this? At BetterCreditCards.com, we have different kinds of credit cards, some with better points and perks, some designed to help you build your credit. Whatever stage of life you happen to be in, we want to help. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, July 25th, 2022. The rebound in equity markets hit a roadblock Friday as traders and investors brace for this week's round of earnings and economic reports. Not only is it the first of two of the busiest weeks of the Q2 earnings reporting cycle, but the FOMC is expected to hike interest rates by at least 75 basis points. On the earnings front, the reports are expected to be okay enough, but the guidance will usher the S&P 500 into its next move. If the guidance continues to weaken, the S&P 500 will have little choice other than to move lower. Also on tap for this week, the first read of the Q2 GDP. Based on the last 3 months of leading indicators, we expect to see the figure not only come in negative, but to accelerate the decline that began in the first quarter. The question of if we're in a recession has already been answered. Yes, we are. The question about how deep and how long the contraction will be is what needs to be answered next. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.